Everybody needs to watch this. I know I say that often, but this is really good stuff. And well, it's not good stuff. It's bad stuff. But it's good information that you're going to want to share. Now, I cover the mark of the beast all the time. And one of the things I get is a lot of people who disagree on the mark of the beast. Well, this is my channel, so this is what my take on the mark is. You don't have to be offended by it. You know, a lot of people like to come over and talk about Sunday law all the time and the mark. I've investigated Sunday law many times over the years, and I believe 100% there's a 0% chance that the mark of the beast is Sunday law. If that's what you believe, it's perfectly fine. I'm aware of what it is, so in the event that it does occur, I'll make sure that, I'm not on board with that because I wouldn't be anyway. But you have to remember with the mark of the beast in Revelation chapter 13, verse 17, so that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark, the name of the beast, or the number of its name. Now, most of us, of course, have always believed it was a chip, and I learned over the years through other channels and studying things over and over again that it was actually more so transhumanism, but I could never really figure out how until I started researching DNA and how they can manipulate DNA. And of course, we just saw and continue to see how they're weaving their way through DNA. So the first thing I'm going to show you is something that's scary, and then I'm going to show you what the plan is after. So let's start here with what's going on over in the wonderful world of Singapore. And Singapore is now using e-payment systems for kids at school, for bookshops and meal purchases. And it's very scary to see it, even though most people will see it and be like, oh, how cute. The kids are going up and buying food on their watch. Well, the next step is inside your body. But take a look at this because all schools are going to follow this around the world. And that is the elimination of cash in a cashless society, which has everything to do with the mark of the beast and everything to do with the end times. Take a look.
By 2025, using e-payment instead of cash when buying food or stationery will be a way of life for students here. Digital payment infrastructure such as tap and pay terminals will be available in all Singapore schools from primary and pre-university levels. It's an expansion of POSB Smart Buddy, a digital payment system currently used by some 40,000 students from around 80 schools. Sherry Lok has more.
Gone are the days of coin pouches and loose change. Just like that, his drink is paid for. These smartwatches are free for students on the POSB Smart Buddy program.
I think one of the biggest change is we do see fewer students coming to the general office to tell us that they have forgotten to bring their pocket money. Of course, in the current context of the pandemic, having contactless transaction is also one way to further enhance the safety of the children in the school.
But with new technology comes new challenges.
There was a day that early in the morning when he put on the watch, oh, the battery is dead. Yeah, so this one we will actually voice out to POSB and school how we can work this out.
Still, Madam Tan says the convenience makes it worth it.
I think probably it's quite often that parents will forget to give our children money. So if they have the watch, we can actually do it via the app.
It also helps that the system doesn't give children full financial freedom yet.
Parents can use the POSB Smart Buddy application to manage their children's spending. They can track their purchases, set saving goals, and even set allowance limits.
The DBS Bank says it's trying to ensure no one's left behind in this digital age.
This is a very critical part of the entire financial inclusion strategy or plan that we have to make sure that everyone, including parents and kids, are able to come up the digital adoption curve. The COVID pandemic has also proven that the whole digital adoption has come to a level that's never seen before in Singapore.
Smart Buddies among several initiatives which teach the young to be more financially savvy. Others include an upcoming financial literacy program by CGS CIMB Securities, as well as a money-saving game launched by UOB.
So here they're saying by 2025, a lot of schools in Singapore, a lot of schools around the world eventually, I don't know what the date would be, of course, specifically, but they talk about the safeties too. You heard them talk about how it's safer for them to do this, which is pretty incredible. What are kids like mugging one another if they have cash on them? Like, hey, did you hear little Johnny over there? Yeah, little Johnny. He's got $3.25. Oh, boy, all right, we're going to team up and get them out. Huh? I mean, they use stuff like this as if like a kid's going to get attacked in school. I mean, you ever think back when you were in school and people had fights? What would there be a fight over? Somebody, hit on your girlfriend, or somebody hooked up with your girlfriend or boyfriend, or somebody called you a name. No, apparently there's muggings going on in school. I don't recall ever seeing that. But when the woman talks about safety, idiots out there hear that and they're like, yeah, it will be safer when everything's electronic, because I've been saying that for a long time. The threats of cybersecurity, hacking, all these things they've constantly just beaten into our heads. Like you're driving the car somewhere, you hear on the radio, your identity can be stolen. Get Norton Security, get this, make sure you protect yourself from that. Right? And people are just getting indoctrinated with that. They're getting the programming pushed into their head to be prepared for it. It's predictive programming. And then when they do this type of, grid shutdown, cyber attack type deal, it'll be your own governments who have access to do this anyway, who will be zipping money out of people's bank accounts, putting them at zero, all this stuff. And what's the solution going to be? The solution will be something that's unhackable, which will be you. You'll be unhackable. That's what they'll claim. When in reality, you're actually being hacked by these people, by your government. They're hacking you by getting inside your DNA. They're hacking your DNA, literally. For those that don't understand, let me show you this clip. I'm sure you've heard of blockchain. I've talked about cryptocurrency and blockchain, and a lot of people don't want to hear it because a lot of people have made money in it. So a lot of people, because they've made money in it, they want to support it and they think it's a great thing and they're being deceived. But go ahead. If that's how you feel, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Just be careful in the future when this starts to become a reality. Take a look at blockchain and how the future of blockchain, and I've told you this with the mice, with the experiments they're doing on mice, is inside of people.
With thousands of public blockchains available, there is almost always one with the feature you're looking for. You want top-notch performance in real-world situations? You can have it. You need lightning transactions to pay for a coffee in a second and not 10 minutes? You can have them. You need decentralization, where decisions and transactions are controlled by more than a handful of people? You can have it. You need an on-chain identity controlled completely by you that can never be hacked or stolen? You can have it. But finding all of these in one place is impossible, or at least it was impossible. With dual-chain network architecture, Metaverse delivers a more complete solution without compromise, introducing a second, faster blockchain alongside Metaverse ETP. DNA will process blocks in a fraction of a second, like a transactional superhighway, meeting the base chain at set intervals to collect data. This blindingly fast chain means that DNA will support powerful tools and features like digital identities, data feeds, integrated lightning channels, and decentralized exchanges, using delegated proof of stake to reward participation in network security, allowing anyone to contribute and benefit. The next generation of blockchain cannot afford to sacrifice, requiring all the tools businesses and organizations need to change the world, finally in one. The next generation arrives with DNA, the Metaverse dual-chain network architecture. With all of this potential at your disposal, what will you achieve?
So one of the ways that they're going to market this, like I said, is to make people unhackable, to make everything be inside you so you could be safe and secure forever. Of course, this will have to do with connecting to everything, to technology 100%, being a part of technology, being technology. Right? And that's why they talk about blockchain being in you. This has to do with the mark of the beast. Again, I will reread the mark of the beast in Revelation chapter 13. Let's start at verse 16 through 18. And the second beast required all people, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or in their forehead, so that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark, the name of the beast or the number of its name. Here is a call for wisdom. Let the one who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and that number is 666. So when you see this stuff going on at schools, it is very heartbreaking to see, because obviously the children are going to be targeted, and the parents are the ones who really are going to have blood on their hands, because the parents are so obsessed and indoctrinated with technology that they wouldn't think twice about something like this, because the parents are going to be doing it themselves. They already are with their tap-to-pay credit cards and things like that. They've been doing this for a while, indoctrinating people. I've talked about things like Coachella, which just occurred, by the way. I've talked about things like Tomorrowland, where they've had a lot of teens and 20-year-olds going to these events, these festivals, and using cashless payments. They've been going there with bracelets on. So whenever they get a soda, they have money inside this bracelet. They go up, they scan their wrist, they get a soda. Everything goes quick. They don't have to carry anything around. They don't have to have pockets. They don't have to have purses. And the people are like, this is great. This is convenient. They don't realize what this is getting them prepared for. And of course, this is going to be marketed as convenience and as safe and as unhackable. So they have to create events to make people even more fearful. They have to create a massive event, a massive type of cyber attack, a massive type of identity theft attack. Or people are like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. And they say they come in with the solution. And the solution is this, where it's in you and you're now connected. And there is nothing that anyone can do because it's your own specific DNA. It's your own specific code. Nothing can be done. Nobody could do it. It doesn't matter what they do, right? We've heard of many different scenarios, so to speak, where they're going to do this, right? How they're going to do it. We heard about Russia. Oh, there's going to be a huge cyber attack and Russia's going to do it, right? All these things where we know it's all the governments of the world doing it to their own citizens because they all are involved in this. They are all working under Satan. They are all preparing people to take the mark. And a lot of people are unaware of it. And a lot of people have a difference of opinion on what the mark is. A lot of people think people just took the mark. That's perfectly fine if you believe that. Right? You'll see in the comment section, everybody already took the mark. Okay, you can believe that, but you got to understand that this is a process that's occurring here, in my opinion. And the next step of the process, of course, is getting it in you. But what just occurred is part of that plan. So don't think for a second that it's not part of that plan. Getting people used to taking things too. Because remember, the only way that they'll be able to do that is, well, by getting something in you to do it, right? People aren't just going to suddenly wake up and, want to put something inside of them that would alter them. But after doing what they have planned to do, people will be prepared for it because they're going to be not just prepared, they're going to be wanting it because they're going to be fearful of something catastrophic happening again, which is going to happen first because that's how this all works to get people on board. They create diversions. They blame it on other things. People think that everything that's going on is real when it's all man-made, Satan-made, I should say, by these people to deceive them. And sadly, like I said, a lot of these kids are going to have no clue. And that's why I feel it's so important for me every day to try to get content out. Because if there's a parent out there watching it, sure, I'd love to help them. And I hope that, they'll pick up their Bible and get aware of this stuff and realize that this isn't this whole cupcake fantasyland happiness world that they've tried to create, this Pleasantville narrative while hell is breaking loose around us and everybody just ignores it and tries to smile and be positive. This is all deliberately done to keep you naive and to keep you weak and to keep you stupid so that when they do this, you're going to have to depend on them and run to them and cry to them for help, to hug you. You're going to be emotionally weak and not prepared for what's coming. And these children are going to be completely indoctrinated by their parents. They're going to go to school and with their wristwatches. And then eventually when it goes inside the body, they won't know any better. They won't think twice. That's all they'll know. It's like, we all grew up on cash and change. They're growing up on this. So they're not going to know any different. They're going to be like, what? What is cash? Right? And people out there are like, cash sucks anyway. Who cares? It's not about that. It's about the mark. And the mark is inside people's body. It's about control. That's what this game is about. The end game is total control of people, their thoughts, everything. Everything. And making them not one with God anymore. So that's going on in Singapore. It's absolutely frightening to see. But that's the plan. And the plan I showed you with blockchain, that's the end game. Being able to get people to that point is what they're working on now because they know they can't just wake up and be like, here's blockchain, all your money's going to be in your body. Like, people aren't going to give up what they have. The whole own nothing, be happy is the end game, right? Everyone looks at that and they're like, yeah, okay. Well, they don't expect you to give up what you have. I mean, there's some zombies that would, I'm sure, maybe not. They don't expect anyone to run over and be like, here's my home and my car and everything I've saved and all everything, my photographs that I've taken of my family. Take it all and we'll be happy. Huh? No, they have to destroy everything. They have to make it so your technology doesn't work anymore, EMP. They have to make it so you can't afford to live on your land, price you out. They have to make it so you can't afford to eat, price you out. don't put anything on the shelves. They've made people incompetent and useless for the most part by teaching them things that don't matter, making them obsessed with things that don't matter. And then when crap hits the fan, nobody's going to be prepared because no one's going to know how to farm, how to do anything without electricity. And especially without technology, it's going to be like this horrible detox. When people detox from drugs, you see that, those TV shows, or you hear about people detoxing from alcohol, drugs, whatever it might be, and how hard it is for them and the withdrawal. Imagine the withdrawal from technology. As crazy as it sounds, it'll be worse than a heroin addict for these people. And they'll be crazier than a drug addict in withdrawal. Scary to think about. So this is the next step, folks. Be prepared for it. Share it with people. Hopefully they understand what they're trying to do here with technology. I don't think many people do, unfortunately, because they're caught up in it. They're caught up in it and they love it. And sadly, the Amish, not sadly, we've all been taught the Amish people, look at them in their clothes and that's not sexy, that's not cool. They don't have cars. They've known all along. They're the smartest of us all. And they'll be prepared. The grid will go down, they won't even know. They won't give a crap. They'll only know when they come for them. That's about it. And they'll be ready to lay their lives down for Christ, that's for sure. The question is, will the rest of society?